Good evening, everyone. It's an anticipated free toast host training. Yes, yes, yes. We are recording, so I do want to remind you that since we are recording, you may be used in any shape, form of photo, video, or media, as we may put this on our website or on YouTube. So be aware that if you do not want your presence to be recorded, you can keep your screen off. Just wanted to make you aware again that we are recording because this is an awesome and amazing content. We have an awesome and amazing trainer tonight. Yes, she is the free toast host guru. If you have questions, she has answers. She amazes me, and I know some things, but then she come out the hatch with something different. So we have a great line up for you tonight, and it's Miss Debbie Thompson that's going to come right now and get us all started. Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now, I can tell you I do not know everything. I'll be honest with you right there. But if I don't know it, I will try to find it out and get back to you. So, well, I do have a lot of experience with this. I think I've been a VPPR about 9 or 10 times. It's one of my favorite positions. And so we wanted to start the series, I guess, off with the basics tonight. We're going to go into how to add photos and text and things like that. Some things you all may know, but hopefully we can answer some questions for you. So this is beginners, the basics. And oh, sorry, Jennifer has already talked about this district disclaimer that we are recording and we will make it available to the district. So we want to make sure that you all understand that your picture can be used if you have it available to us. And just, I'm sure you've seen this before, just read through it real quickly. And then wanted to start off just very basic with what is Free Toast Toast, because some people don't know what it is. It is exactly what the name says. It's free. It's for Toastmasters, and it's a hosting platform. And so want to make sure you understand that. If you think about websites like GoDaddy or things that are hosting platforms, they usually cost money. This one is free. If you have a Toastmaster club number, that is what they need to make the website unique. We'll talk about that in just a second. But think about what a GoDaddy does for you. It has storage. It allows you to add graphics. It usually allows you to be able to have programmers available at a lot of other features that it has. And so Free Toast Host is no different than that. You have programmers, you have storage, you have ways that you can put forms, documents on the website. You can add photos and things like that. So it is a hosting platform. It is not supported or programmed by Toastmasters International. There is a link. They're using branding standards, things like that. They are in contact with TI all the time. For example, they have things like pathways in Free Toast Toast, but TI does not support it. So if you call in with a Free Toast Toast ticket, they're probably going to say, we don't do that. But there is a way to open a ticket in Free Toast Toast. And then finally, it is a labor of love to a lot of people. All the programmers are not paid. They are Toastmasters just like you and I, but they are very smart and they do support the website. All right, let's talk about what we're going to go over tonight. It is basics. We're going to talk a little bit about your club name, your URL name. We're also going to talk just very briefly about basic settings. There are a couple of things that you can check. We'll talk about that. We're going to concentrate tonight on the home page, the directions page, and the contact forms page, because I see those as the interface to visitors and guests. If somebody is visiting your website, we want to make it very easy for them to get engaged, have fun photos and text. We want to have directions so they can find us or they can join us on Zoom. We want to make sure they can do that. And then contact forms, we want to make sure those are set up so they can contact us. We're going to talk about very, very briefly setting it up on the TI website. You don't want to create this beautiful website and then people go to TI to find a club and they can't see your website. So we're going to talk about that very briefly. And then we'll have time for Q&A at the end if you have any other questions. So let's get started. Your Free Toast Host URL, and I didn't know what URL stood for either, Universal Resource Locator. It is from Toastmasters, and their website is toastmastersclubs.org. It is plural. So if you want to go to the Free Toast Host website, this is what you would key in. Now, when your club has a URL, they simply add your club number .toastmasters.org. And so if you know somebody's club number and they have a Free Toast Host website, you can key this in and go to their website. So, but that's what makes it unique around the world is your club number. And so here's an example of Henry County. It's 2367.toastmastersclubs.org. Okay. Any questions about that so far? All right, let's get into a demo about homepage. We're going to add photos and text, the directions page, the contact page, and customizing the appearance. So let me stop sharing for 1 second here. So Jennifer, if you keep up with chat for me in case I miss a question or anything, if you could just let me know. And let me go into one of my websites. Okay. So this, can everyone see? This is 5-Star Leader website. Very good.
Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to go in like I would go in if I'm the administrator. I'm going to log in as site administrator here. You enter the club number. And then you enter the administrator password. Oh, I may have typed that wrong. Let's see if I did. Yes, okay, good. It comes up with messages. You can get rid of those if you want to. I like to just see it, but then I'll go beyond that. All right, you'll notice when I signed in that I have a launch administrative console. That is how you would get behind the scenes, if you will. So let's do that. Look at the page first. You can see the colors, the text, the photos, and just kind of look around and see the text colors and the other things. Let's go behind the scenes. All right. So it's made up. When I say go behind the scenes, this is the background things where you set up everything. And so these tabs across the top, you'll see where I've got appearance, homepage. This is where we'll go to update the homepage, meeting directions page, et cetera, et cetera. We're not going to go through all of these today. But you'll also notice there's select a module. So there are other things, other modules involved if you want to do custom pages, for example, or file managers where you add documents. Here's how you get to some of the agenda settings, and dues management is something that treasurers can use. Membership management we'll talk a little bit about tonight, but so they're modules and then they're tabs. Okay. If I come in and I'm looking for something, I don't see it down here, then I usually just say, okay, look at the drop down, and that's where it usually is. So the first thing I wanted to talk about just very, very briefly is this basic settings, because I think this is a tab that you may want to just go back and update or look at to see if this information is up to date. And you may want to review it. The thing that I was talking about is keywords. I'm sure you have all heard SEO, or search engine optimization. That is a term we hear all the time. This is what helps search engines find your club and put things to the top. And so these are keywords that you can put in. We've got public speaking, leadership, Toastmasters. But one thing you can do for your club, think about how people are going to Google you. If they're looking for a club, they may say, I want a club in Henry County, or I want a club in Covington. I want a Toastmasters club, you know, specifically some location. So make sure that you have keywords that would mimic what people are looking for in Google searches or searches in search engines. Okay. So you may want to just take a look and make sure those things look good for you, or you get specific if you need to. And let's see. So that really is all I wanted to talk about here. Is it may just be a good idea for you to review it every once in a while, and then you can see if it needs update. Okay.
Your typo.
Let's-
Confidence in speaker, the last one, building confidence in speaker. Oh, maybe, all right. Speaking, okay, gotcha, okay.
That's okay. It was cut off. Okay. All right. So let's go to the home page. Let's do that first. Now, this statistics show that a lot of people come to the home page and then get out. So you want to make sure that your home page is very exciting, engaging, something that they want to look at. And think about how you use websites. If you're buying something, you want to see that website is updated, it's up to date, it doesn't have things out there from 10 years ago. You want to make sure that it looks inviting. And so if you'll notice, when I scroll here, you're seeing the colors on the home page, you're seeing the text that we have. This should look very familiar, but this is a teeny little area right here. What if I am making a change to something small, like I was changing July to August and September or something like that, I can come in here and select, type over, and save very quickly. If it's something minor, you may want to do it that way, but think about just adding pictures and text and creating something. This is not very workable, is it? It's too tiny. So what I wanted to show you is all of these edit tools above the home page. These are edit tools that can help you with change fonts or change text colors or make something bold. And if you, I don't know if you all can see because this is very small, but if I put the cursor over the little icon, can you see that it's saying copy formatting? So it's telling me what it is if I hover over it. It's saying this is paste. This is paste as plain text. This is bold. This is image. Okay. Now there's one here that says maximize, minimize. Okay. I'm going to select that one. And what it does is it helps me blow up so that I have more room to work. Excuse me, if I wanted to add a picture or something like that, this is much easier to deal with. But notice, if I go to the bottom, I don't have a save button. So I've got to, when I do my work in this mode, I want to make sure that I go back and minimize so that I can save everything. I have done that too many times where I did a lot of work and didn't save it. You don't want to do that. Okay. But let's add a photo right here. Okay. What you can see is I'm going to put my cursor. Oh, cancel, sorry. If you have a photo that you want to edit, you simply double click on it. And so that's why it took me behind the scenes by just double clicking. Okay. I'm going to cancel that. That's not what we want to do. Now, I don't know if you can see it. It's not really showing, but I have put my cursor behind this picture, this 5-Star Leaders logo. I'm going to press return. And do you see now that my cursor is, oh, it's not showing either. I don't know if you can see it right here. My cursor is immediately in the center under that photo. Okay. Let's see. There it is. Can you see the purple line? That's telling me my cursor is right here. This is where I want to add an image. And so I'm going to go to image. Okay. So think about when you're adding a photo, it's a two-part project. It's two pieces. You've got to get the image from your computer to their server, and from their server to your page. So it's two steps, okay? I'm going to click on image here, and you will see at the very top it says upload, okay? I'm going to upload a picture I just happen to have on my computer. Now, I hope you can see this. It's kind of small, but it says choose your file and then send to the server. So I'm going to choose my file and let me go. I should have had it up. It's on the desktop and it's named Happy Summer, I think. Oh, sorry, wrong. Let's see if I can find it. Sorry, guys, know where your picture is. Okay, does everybody see Happy Summer? There's Happy Summer. Okay. I'm going to click on Happy Summer and upload that picture. All right, this tells me then that Happy Summer has been selected. Now I'm going to send it to the server. I click on that button. May take you a couple, and sometimes it is very slow. Of course, when I'm trying to show it, it's not gonna work. Okay, go on. There we go. Okay, finally. So this message says successful. You have fetched the image via the browser now. Okay, so I have done step one. Remember, we said 2 steps. I have moved it from my computer to the server. Then I want to get it from the server to my page. That's 2 steps. And so I don't think that, I think because this opens another window, you can't see it. So I may have to stop sharing and come back in, but let me know if you can see the browser page. Can you see that, or you're still seeing everything?
We're still seeing everything.
Okay. All right. I was afraid of that. Let me stop sharing. And, all right. Stop sharing real quick and then let me share again. Okay. So this, when I selected, can you see now? It looks like a little library of photos. Okay.
Yeah.
When I select that browser search or whatever that button said, it takes me to this library. So when I upload things, this is my image library. And typically an image goes to the very bottom. Okay, so here's my image. It's some summer flip-flops. It looks cute. I'm going to select that one and it will pull it in, but I wanted to show you a couple of other libraries. There's one called Toastmaster Image Library. This is pictures of Toastmasters that are usually meetings, things like that. So if you don't have a photo that fits, you may want to check out this library. And let me go back to the one we just did. So I'm going to select this picture and click on it. Oops, didn't. Okay, now can you guys see what it did, or do I need to come back in?
Yes, we can see it. I can see it.
Mhm.
Cool. See a screen that looks like beach, I guess. It looks like blue. Okay. All right. You'll notice that it has come in with a width and height already. That is pixels, I believe, but it has come in adjusted. So it's not going to smush it in or do anything. It's come in adjusted. Let's just say, okay, and add that image. Okay. That's pretty big, isn't it? I don't want it that big. So let me double click on it again. And I'm going to come in and change that. I want it to be much smaller, probably about 50% smaller. So let's say 400. Now you'll notice that when I change the width, it adjusted the height It's not going to stretch it or anything like that. I'm going to say, okay. All right, that is much, much better. But you can also see that it's, I've got some extra here. So sometimes you have to play with it a little bit. I'm putting my cursor between the picture and Covington. I'm going to press return. Okay, that got it in the middle and where I want it. Okay. If you want to move it, then you can use these tools here to say, see where it says middle here? I don't know if center. If I wanted to move it to the right or the left, I can use the edit tools here to move the picture around if I need to. Okay, that looks cute, but I want to add some text. That's not just cute picture, but let's add some text here. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I want my cursor, and I can see it blinking, but you all probably can't. There it is. I'm going to put my cursor there, press return, so that my cursor now is where I want to put my text, and it is centered. I can see up here that it's centered. I could change that if I wanted to, but let's add some text. Happy summer with 5-star leaders. Okay. All right, I've got. All right, that is way too small. Let me select that text and come up here to my options, my edit options. I want to change the size of that font. Let's make it much bigger. Let's do 36. There we go. Okay, I think that looks good. I want to have this really stand out though, so I want to change the text color as well. I'm going to go up here where it says text color. I'm going to make it red. And I also want to make it bold. So let's find the B. Gotta make it bold. Okay. You can see that it's selected. And then I can use these edit tools at the top to make changes. Okay. Now, remember we said there's no save here. I just did some work. I don't want to lose it. So that's a message to go back to the minimize here. That gets us back to the screen where we can save everything. So let's do that. Okay. All right. Let's close it. Take a look at our homepage. Okay. Yay. All right. So the good news here is that once you add a photo or text to any page, to the homepage, it's the same way for any page. If you want to change a custom page, or if you want to update or add pictures to the directions page, any page like that, if you want to add a photo, that is how you would do that. Okay. Any questions so far about that? All right, let's go back into the console. So we've added a picture. One of the things I wanted to show you is that, let's go back to the homepage for a second. FreeToast Host has some really good notes. So a lot of times, if you see things that have something like this, it says more, then it's a good opportunity to take a look at it. This says that the most important page of your entire website, since it is what visitors to your website see first, is the home page. It says we recommend that you both include images and text for best results. Okay. So a lot of times they will have really good notes for you. But one thing I wanted to show you specifically here, excuse me, guys, I've got an itch. Okay. You may say, well, that was good, but I can't remember anything Debbie said. So you have a cheat sheet right here. It says, click the arrows icon above to maximize the editing area to and from full screen. So that's a note. Oh, it's that little arrow thing that I need to push. This says, click the image icon above to step 1, upload an image photo to the server, and then step 2, insert it. So that's just, like I said, another little cheat sheet if you forget what we did, you can go here and see this. This little link icon says this is how you create a link to another website page. So you can do that as well. But a lot, like I said, a lot of times the pages will have really good instructions for you. All right, so we're going to get out of there. Okay. Any questions about text or photos right now? Okay. Let's go to the meeting information directions page. I wanted to show you that real quickly. Okay. This club, excuse me, is now on Zoom only. So when you see their meeting instructions, you see how to log in, what their meeting ID is. They've made it really easy for you to find them. I wanted to show you one other. Let me move you guys real quick. I wanted to show you one other website though, and behind the scenes, that if you are meeting in person or hybrid, you may want to set it up this way. So let's look at meeting information. I'm going to click on there. So this particular club is still meeting on COVID, but they are planning to go back to in person. And so they have added a picture of where they meet. They have added Google Maps so people can get there.
I'm sorry, Debbie. We
Uh-huh.
still see 5-star leaders.
Okay. Let me know, because if you open other windows, sometimes you have to share again. Sorry about that. Okay. Thank you for letting me know that. Okay. So this particular club is going hybrid, and they are still planning to go back in person. But what they've done is they've added Zoom information here. So it's really easy right now to get into their meetings. But once they go back in person, they have added a photo of where they meet. And I think that's very important. You want to make it really easy for people to be able to find you. And they've also added Google Maps at the bottom. I'll show you how to do that real quickly. But this is a good idea to put any information that you feel like might be helpful to a visitor. Think about, they don't know where you're meeting or anything about you yet. One thing you may want to add here is, if your club is a corporate club and you have to, the person would have to go through security, you may want to put this on your directions page to say, please allow 15 minutes to go through security before a meeting starts, or something like that. You're just telling them more information to help them find you and not give up in frustration. So let's go behind the scenes real quick. I just want to show you where meeting information is. There's a tab called Meeting Info Directions. Okay, we can see, just like the home page, we've got that little small thing. I'm going to hit my maximize. And again, adding a picture is exactly like we did it on the other page. Okay. Then I wanted to show you how to set up Google Maps. These are instructions. They are step-by-step instructions. You do have to go into certain things. You have to cut and paste. But if you do want Google Maps, which I think is very good for visitors to see, then you can update the Google information. Okay. Any questions about meeting information or directions? All right, I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to go back to 5-star. Okay.
Debbie, we have a question on the floor.
Sure.
It says, are there any security protocols from Free Toast Host? And this is from Ms. Evelyn Smith.
Okay. Security protocols as far as what exactly? There
Hi.
are.
Hi, Debbie. I was wondering, when you were speaking of the protocols, for instance, of someone entering your building and letting them know on this site that would be something they'd have to prepare for if they're going to visit. But if this is public, similar to Zoom, for instance, are there protocols in here which would allow the club to screen out, let's say, undesirable persons who may have some undesirable intentions or something like that, if that makes sense.
Okay. So let's go back into meeting information. I know there are security, they have added a lot of security about Free Toast Host. One is you have to opt in. If you add a new member to Free Toast Host, they have to opt in to say, yes, they want to be on this website, they want to participate. That is one kind of security privacy thing they have done. As far as this goes, if you are, and I'm not aware of any security protocols, all I was talking about is if you've got things that might make a difference to your visitors that you want to let them know, you can do that here. But if you are concerned about just giving out your Zoom account, some clubs actually put the contact information or the VP memberships email. So you have to contact somebody to get the Zoom information to sign in. And that is one kind of level of security, I would say, if you just don't want to have, everybody have access to your Zoom information. Does that help?
Yes, that does. Our club does meet on Zoom, and we have had some, I guess, kind of, what do they call that?
They call it Zoom booming, or I don't know what, what the term is. Yeah.
Well, I like the idea then to put the contact information on there so that someone knows in advance who is coming in. Thanks.
Exactly. And they can give you more information. So it's easier to say, well, this looks like a legit, person. And it is an additional step to really make sure it's not a bot, I guess, or something. So that is, something some clubs do. If you wanted to do that, it would be an extra level of security. And I would definitely not put, this is, I don't know, to me, common sense. Don't put anything on your website that you really don't want to share. In no personal, really, really personal information or information about I don't know, just be very careful about what you do share, but think about how can I make this easy for people to visit me or as easy as possible. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the contact information real quick. All right. So this is contact if somebody logs onto your website and pushes the contact us information. This is the form that they would get. And so you can see they have your name, your email address, and then you submit it. Well, let's go behind the scenes and take a look at the contact form. Okay. So I'm looking across here. This is one of those situations where I don't see anything that makes sense. I'm going to go up to the modules and yes, here we go. Contact forms and emails. Okay. So I've clicked on that. I see that there's a contact us form tab here. Here's some other security you may want to take a look at, Evelyn, just to take a look. But this is a contact form. So when somebody submits the form, you are telling it where you want the form to go. And so this is going for this particular club to the VP membership, the president, and the VP education. So it's going to those three people anytime somebody does a contact form. When you set this up, typically I've seen the VPM, but it can be any three officers, or something new they've added is you can actually have a club member. It doesn't have to be an officer. You can have a club member get contact forms. So it would go to their email address. And so this is important, though, that maybe you have somebody that is just an advocate for your club. They're your chief ambassador, and they would be very responsive. They are retired, so they can answer the information. And so you can put a member's name here. They don't have to be an officer. But typically what I've seen is the VPM, and then two other officers. Okay. Now, the other thing is when you do this, a best practice that one of my clubs has is we have the VP membership is the primary contact person. We want them to be responsible or aware of any time somebody contacts us. When they submit something back to the person, they copy everybody else. They do a copy all or reply all. That way, the other two who are on this form know that somebody has contacted, so they won't be bombarding the visitor or guest with emails. Okay, so there's just reply all so that everybody, when you respond to this person, everybody knows that you've done that. And so there's couple of other things I wanted to show you. You can put a personal greeting here. Welcome to 5-star leaders. And I'll show you where that comes up. And you can also customize this so it has people's telephone numbers, but you have to check this block to be able to have those phone numbers shown. So let me do this. I'm the VPE. I'm going to check the box that says I will accept phone calls. All right, let's save that. And then I will close it out. Close it out. Let's see what that updated. Okay, there's my welcome message. So you could put something here if you wanted to be very personal. But you see, because I checked that I don't mind my phone number being here, it has added my name and phone number. Now, they'll never know my email address. And if I don't want my phone number, I just don't check that box. But this does allow, personal contact if somebody wants to call. Okay. All right. Any questions about the contact form? Okay. Let's
Yeah.
see. Oh, go ahead.
Didn't you just say they would never know your email address?
That's right.
So how do they contact you? What does Free Toast Host?
No. When they do the contact us form, they fill in this information. They're not filling in an email address. It is going to those 3 people, remember, that we set up. So they don't know my email. They don't have to know my email. This is what is telling the behind the scenes is what's telling it who to go to. So let's go back there. So they would fill this out. It doesn't say, my email address. And if I don't want my phone number, I can take that off. But
Okay.
what happens behind the scenes is, let's go in here, forms. Okay. Free Toast hosts, because when you set members up, you put in their email addresses and their phone numbers. Phone numbers are optional, but it goes behind the scenes and does the, for a better word, calculation. It says you want it to go to the VPM. Okay, let me do it this way. You want it to go to the VPE. The VPE is Debbie Thompson, and I set that up in membership management. Debbie Thompson's email is this. So it's translating behind the scenes. The person who contacts you would never know. Does that make sense?
Yes, and so the object of the form, this contact form, is for you, the VPE, to contact them?
It's for them to be able to contact us. So if a visitor comes to our website and wants to let us know that they're interested in coming to a meeting, or they're interested in joining Toastmasters, or they want more information, they
Right.
fill out that contact form. This behind the scenes is just telling it where you as a club want the contact form to go. What
Right.
officers or members do you want it to go to?
But they did input, or because it started, if you go back to the form, that they must fill in their email address, correct?
Let's see. I can't remember if it's required or not.
See, yeah, so they have to fill in their email address. And so my question then in this case is, should they anticipate you or whoever is the recipient of this form contacting them?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah, we just said whoever you have on that contact as your contacts needs to be responsive. They need,
Gotcha.
they need to understand that that's their responsibility to answer these. I've heard potential members say they joined a club because that was the first club that responded back to them. So yes, if you're going to have somebody get these forms, make sure they are very responsive. And they've got, if they're contacting you, they've got to give you a way to get back in touch with them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to contact them or talk to them. I don't think it has your phone number here, but it does at least have your email address. Okay.
I think when you respond to them, they will have your email address, right?
True. When you respond, they will. Okay. All right. Let's see. I do want to go into appearance very quickly, and I'm not going to cover everything under appearance, but I want to make sure we have some time for Q&A. There is a tab here that lets you set appearance, customize appearance. And so I'm just going to show you one quick thing here. Let's click on appearance. If you notice, it's got the text colors. It's got the background colors for the menus, things like that. Okay. We see this light blue under our members only menu. I'm going to change that to light yellow. Save it. And then close that and let's see what happens. Okay. So changing the appearance can be as easy as resetting that. I just simply chose another color. If I like that, that's kind of summary. I'll leave it that way. If I didn't like it, I would go back in and change it. But these appearances let you customize text for different things and backgrounds for different things. There are other options here, but I'm not going to go through those at this point. But one thing people have asked me now, I didn't see, when I went in appearance, I didn't see homepage. Did you? Nope. I don't see homepage anywhere. I don't see locate the directions page. Okay. A lot of pages specifically have the color on the page itself. So let's launch that again. Let's go to homepage. And then if we scroll down to the bottom, there it is. This says I want the background color for my homepage to be this blue. And so I could change that if I wanted to, and there's a lot of options for changing. But just remember that if you can't find under appearance, the background colors may be on the page itself. So when you go behind the scenes for that page, you'll see where those colors are. Okay. You'll see where the background is. All right. Let's see. I think there's one other thing I want to go into, and that is access. Let's see. So I'm going back to my PowerPoint. All right. All right. Can you all see this? Access? Okay. So a lot of times I think the administrator feels like they have to give the password to everybody in order for them to have access to do things they need to do. And that is not true. There are ways that you can set up access to different things, excuse me, on the website so that and I'll show you how that's done. First of all, it is very important under membership management. And that's one of those modules. Oh, sorry, guys. Okay. In membership management, this is where I link the person to the office. Okay, so this is very important for Free Toast Host to make the connection behind the scenes. You've got to tell it who the president is, who the VPE is, who the VPM is. All of that stuff is here. And I didn't want to show you in person because I don't want to share these people's emails or phone numbers. So this is all you're going to see right now. But the point is that you connect them in membership management to the office, okay? And let's go back to access. Okay, sorry. Oh. Okay. Sorry, this going back and forth is fine. Okay. All right. So let's see where we set that access. I'm going back into administrative console. All right. I'm going to go to the access tab. Okay. This is where you can give access to certain club officers, and this is only officers. This doesn't have members, but officers up to 3 can have access to different things. So your website settings, that's pretty much all the tabs we've looked at. You can give other people access. You can give them access to membership management. And sometimes we do this because we want the VPM to be able to add and update the website with new members. It's not automated when somebody is added to TI, they're not automatically added to your club website. So you have to do that. But in order to give our VP membership access to what he needs without giving him the password, we can set him up here. This is for contact forms. This is for custom pages. So there are a lot of different activities you can give to other officers to help you out with the website. And so let's take a look here. I am VPE, so you can see that I would have access to contact forms, custom pages, file manager, agenda items. I don't have access to treasurer. So I've got some access there. Let me close this. Now, I'm not logged in as Debbie Thompson yet. Let me do that. And notice, here's my menu members only section. When I log in as Debbie, okay, it's thinking. All right. Notice I have a lot of other options here now. I can do contact forms. I can do website pages, custom web pages. I can do file manager. This is all because I am VPE and it knows Debbie Thompson when she logs on as VPE, and it gives me access to all those other things. So I don't have to have the password in order to go in and change that contact information. I can do that just like the administrator would have been able to, but I can do that because it's a module. I can do mentoring forms, and we're going to have a session on mentoring and what tools are in FreeToast to help you with your mentoring programs. Okay. If I log out as Debbie Thompson, those things have gone away. Okay. So that's how you would set up other people to help you with some of those tasks if you want to, without having to give them the access code. Okay. All right. Let's see if there's anything else on the website. All right. I guess this is a good time for us to have, let me see if there was anything else. Okay. All right. We want to make sure we have Q&A. So do we have any questions that you guys I know we've seen a lot tonight. It is a lot of information. We are going to have these recorded, so we will be able to build a little library of FreeToast training. Do we have any other questions, anyone?
Yes, okay, so I received a question. How do we change admin password? We already answered a couple of the other questions, but that was the first one answered.
Okay. Let's go into, let me share again. Okay. All right, so let's go back into the administrative console. All right. you'll notice that there is a tab called Administrator Information. We're going to click on that. This is where you would be able to change the password, and you could set some other things up. But this is where the admin information is. Here's where you would change that. Okay. All right.
Okay, that was a question from Barbara, but this is a question from Mark. Is there a way to
Okay.
link a YouTube video?
There is. We weren't going to go into that, and I don't have one, but let me show you. So remember when we went into the home page, let's just do that again. I'm going to go into home page and say you wanted to add a YouTube video to the home page. All right, remember this is kind of small. We want to work with a bigger thing, so we're going to maximize. Okay, so I would encourage you all. I haven't broken anything yet, so I would encourage you all to explore all of these edit tools, because Mark, there is one, and I'm not sure what it looks like. Oh, looks like a little YouTube. It says embed a YouTube video. Okay, so there is a little icon here. Let me click on it. Okay, so this gives you information about how you would embed a YouTube video. I'm just going to close that. I don't know that I've ever done that, but I know you can. You can get, if you are very, very technical and a website programmer, you can add Flash code, you can add iframes. That is way beyond what I'm going to do, because you also have to maintain it when that person leaves. So be careful about all the fancy things you do, but YouTube might be something you absolutely want to add. Maybe you have a custom page where you have a library of YouTubes that your officers have done, or that, you know, one of your trainers has done, or you might even put some of the District 14 YouTubes in a little library on a custom page, and you could link YouTubes to that, or YouTube videos to that. Does that answer your question, Mark? Okay, I see Deborah Taylor has a hand raised. Go
Hi,
ahead, Deborah.
Debbie. Can you hear me?
Sure. Uh-huh.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm understanding something right. In the screen, you showed us where everybody is assigned, like the VPPR, VPM, and president can do certain things and answer in the contact forms. So if I'm listed as VPM and VPPR in certain segments of that form, that means I don't need to have the admin password in order to go in and do things to the website. Is that what that means?
That means that your club would have to set up access settings for you to be able to have other things, other project or processes that you can do. So
Okay.
so typically and this is something your officers may want to discuss every so many years. Just go back in and say, does it still make sense? The people that we have and the officers that we have that have these different capabilities. Because you may look at this and say, membership management, yes, that's somebody we always want our VP membership to be able to update. And so we have him on the list, or he or she on the list. You can go in and change this. I think it only allows 3, but I can change this. Okay, I don't want to do that. I can take them off, but I don't want to do that. But you can see how
I get what you're saying. I just
Okay.
wanted to make sure that, because this year I'm doing VPPR for one club, but I'm
Okay.
also doing VPM.
Okay.
And if I'm going to do the web pages, I just needed to know, do I have to have an admin password? But seeing this, I can do the web pages for the website without having to get the admin password, right?
Right, but whoever is admin would have to set this up. So if
Right.
it's not set up this way, if they inherited it, as something you may want to discuss at one of your officer meetings to see,
Yeah.
you know, and that's another thing. Remember how when I signed on as Debbie Thompson, I had some things pop up for me?
Uh-huh.
If you've got a new, okay, so you just recently, everyone just recently selected new officers, right?
Yes.
If, once you go into Free Toast Toast and hook up those new officers to their new roles, then they may start to see things popping up on their screen, on their menu that they
Mhm.
weren't aware they were going to get. And so it is something, as you change officers, you may want to revisit just to see who has access. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
It does.
Okay. Okay. So, and this
I
is
just didn't want to
another,
have to fight to get a password because over the couple of years, somebody there was arguments about the admin password, and the VPPR needed the admin password
right,
because you're
right.
doing the website. It didn't make sense to have to fight to get it. So seeing this tells me I won't have to do that. That's what I was
Yeah.
trying to really clarify.
Yeah. Absolutely. And really, as the administrator, this means I can give other tasks to people where it makes absolute sense for them to have it. I really want my VPE to have all access to everything agenda wise. And so
Okay.
I don't want to take that ability away from them, but I don't necessarily want 7 people to have the password to do things. I can just set them up and I have the administrator password, and then they have the ability to do whatever they need to without me having to share that. So yes, but
Okay.
it
And
has
you
to be,
don't have to be an administrator is another thing, right? I don't have to be an administrator as long as these are set up this way.
that's right. That's absolutely right.
Oh, thank
If
you, God.
I logged out as administrator and logged back in as Debbie, you would see those things pop up, and I am not administrator.
Okay.
So in a sense, if your and this is up to your club, if your VPPR is your administrator, then you're kind of wasting these because they already have administrator access. You
Okay.
may want to give the 3 other officers, or you don't have to do 3, you can do 2 or 1. A lot of times the dues is only the president and treasurer. So, you
Yeah.
know,
I don't want to be on that.
Mm.
But I have a clear understanding now. Thank you very much.
okay, perfect. Okay.
Debbie,
Anything?
here.
Uh-huh.
So as I
Sure.
mentioned earlier, our administrator moved on and no one got the password to the site. So,
Okay. There is a way now to, and this may be a good way to show you guys. Here's where you do support. If you want to open a ticket with Free Toast Host, we'll go over this later, but this is where you can do support documents, and their forums, and there's all kind of really good information, but that's how you would open a ticket if you're having a problem. But let's talk about, let me go out of here. Remember, we said the URL is toastmastersclubs.org, right? Let me see if I can pull up Free Toast Host, Toastmaster Clubs.org. Okay. All right. So what I keyed in to Google was www.toastmastersclubs.org. That's the overall Free Toast Host. So this is how you request a website. It has some really good information about, maybe you have never set up Free Toast Host before, but it tells you how to do that. It's got quick reference guides. But one of the things it tells you, and I'd have to look at this again, James, to know exactly, but there is a way, if your administrator has moved on, you can't get in touch with them, there's a way that you submit a form, I believe it is, to Free Toast Host. What happens is it comes back and it goes to 3 people. I believe it is the current club president, It might be whoever the administrator is on the site. And I think there's one more, but it gives you a way, if you've lost somebody, that any one of those people can request that the administrator password be reset. And so say your administrator moved to Florida, you can't get in touch with them, you're kind of out of the water because you can't log in and go behind the scenes. You submit this form and they will send I believe, and I'd have to look at this a little bit more, I haven't done it in a long time. I believe they send you something that has a password reset on it. So, or it may be that if your president says we need to reset our password, then they can let him do it. I'm just not sure what 3 people it is, James, but it is a way for you to get around the fact that you cannot get in touch with that administrator anymore. It gives you other people then that can say, yes, we need a reset. And then it will let you reset that password and, set it to something totally different and be able to get back into Free Toast Host. I'll see if I can find it on here, but I think it's on here somewhere. I'll see if I can find it. Does that answer your question? Because I know that happens a lot of times if your administrator is no longer available or has moved or is no longer a Toastmaster, it gives you a way to reset that admin password and kind of start all over again. You just reset it, okay? But it's done in a way that not just anybody can request it. You don't want anybody just saying, reset this for us. So it's kind of a deliberate security way that they do it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
And
Okay,
Debbie,
and-
I did find that article and I just put it in the chat as well.
Okay. But yeah, they give you a
Oh.
way to do, because that can happen and it does happen all the time, I'm sure.
Oh,
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. What I'd like to do though, I want to ask you all again, because Jennifer and I are setting up the schedule for the rest of the year. We'd like to know if there are things that you really want to know about. I know that agendas is one of the things we want to talk about. That will probably take an entire meeting. But there are other things we want to show, how to do a custom page, how to use the tools that Free Toast Host has for your mentoring programs. It's got some really good reports. It's got a way to connect your proteges and your mentors, lots of things like that. So we'll be having a class there. If there's anything you want to know more about that we kind of skipped over here, please put it in the chat and we can make a note and make sure we get it on the schedule for this year. Okay. All right. Anything else? I know we've gone a little bit over time, but let me put my email in chat. If you think about something later and need to send me something, this is my email address. Okay, excuse me. Okay. So feel free to email me with questions or classes you'd like to see, anything like that. Jennifer, did you have anything to?
Yeah, but I say we're probably one of the very few that still have a Bell South email account.
Oh, tells my age, doesn't it? I'm sorry.
I get a lot of mockery from my younger folks. I'm like, well, yeah, we need to update you. I said, it still works.
How about if I have an AOL account?
Oh, and that's even.
I'm looking at my member list right now, and yeah, we got both. We've got Bell South, AOL,
MSN.
Yahoo. That's not that hard. That's not that bad.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Actually, I got a question. There's a VPR training on Friday. Do you know what's they're gonna cover? What specifically that's gonna be about?
Okay, that's gonna be talking towards anybody who's coming into PR. So it's general questions and also doing some little touch-ups of what to do when you get started.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yeah, and that's Friday night at 6:30.
So do remember that now that you have elected officers again, you do need to update that information in Free Toast Host. And if you have all new officers that may see some things showing up all of a sudden, you may just want to let them know. You may see this. If you don't understand it, I'll explain it to you. But if they have a new office, they may have some responsibilities that were on the last officer. So, okay.
Um,
All right, so we'll be sending out something in the newsletter or posting what the next session is. It is second Wednesdays at 6 of every month at 6:30. And I think we're not doing anything, what is it, February and
No, August. So next month,
August?
because it's TLI month, so yeah, no trainings.
Okay. All right, good to see everybody.
All right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks a
This
lot.
is great.
Yeah, it
Good
was.
class. Thank you.
All right, everybody be great. Be safe.
All right.